And another thing you were able to do during the chaos with Hurricane Sandy is you were able to get a lot of funding, billions of dollars, which was very impressive. Could you tell us about not only that, but Hurricane Sandy from start and where we are now in the recovery stage with Hurricane
Sure.
Sandy?
Sandy is still near and dear to my heart because there's so many people that were crushed. I mean, literally lost everything, their homes, their families. They'll never be the same. And my heart goes out to these people that are still struggling to this day. And I remember being in a room with just 5 members of Congress, 2 members from New Jersey, Peter King from Long Island, and me representing all of New York City. And the 5th member was Eric Cantor, the majority leader. And it looked like the far right was going to strip out $16 billion or $17 billion worth of CDBG money, that's the Community Development Block Grants, that was going to New York City. And the 3 other members looked at me and said, hey, Grimm, that's New York City's money, you better fix it. Here I am, a freshman, never had any experience in politics. And one of the guys in the room has been in 18 years at that point. Others, 15 years. They had a lot of tenure. And they looked to me to carry the ball on that. And somehow, some way, with the grace of God, I was successful and able to keep that money in the budget. So I think about that, and I look now to where we are 16 months later. And the city of New York, and it is an absolute disgrace, has dropped the ball. That money has not been given to the homeowners that desperately need it to rebuild, for those whose houses can't be rebuilt, for them to be bought out, for just people to get on with their lives, for small businesses that are now gone under. It's too late for them, and they should have been saved because that money has been available. The Bloomberg administration did not allocate the funding to housing the way they should. They dropped the ball, and now the Blasio administration is following suit and, in my opinion, making things worse. Governor Cuomo, to his credit, has had some pretty good programs and has helped Staten Island in particular with some buyouts. But I'm hoping that the governor comes in and does more because the city of New York has made a disaster of the disaster, and I feel that these victims are being re-victimized.
You're having some trouble meeting with de Blasio's people about the Hurricane Sandy. Do you think that you'll reach any progress with him in the near future?
Look, I've made the request. All I can do is request to meet with him. The truth is, the mayor doesn't want, and his team don't want to meet with me because they're not prepared. They don't know what they're going to do with the Build It Back program. They don't know whether they're going to reallocate funding, and they don't want to sit in a room with the one guy that knows most of the facts. They can't fool me. I know the numbers inside and out. I wrote the bill. I know what they can do and what they can't do, and what they're telling the press simply isn't true. They're trying to say that federal funds, it's so encumbered, you have to jump through so many hoops. That is a truth, but both New Jersey and the state of New York have already jumped through those hoops, and they've allocated the money. New York State, their New York Rising has already allocated $260 million to homeowners. So what is New York City's problem? Obviously, it's the same hoops. So I don't know when they'll meet with me. I'm going to keep trying. But in the meantime, I'm going to go to HUD. I'm going to continue to work with the secretary. And I may even decide to call in the HUD IG to really come in and see what is going on with this money and take over. And like I said, I'm going to probably just implore the governor to take over all these programs and bypass the city completely.